All right, in this explainer, we're doing something a little different. Think of it as a forensic audit of a really profound ancient teaching, stream entry. We're going to decode what it actually is, figure out why the entrance is so often missed, and lay out the precise four-step protocol for getting there. So let's dive in.
So, let's jump right in. Our whole investigation kicks off with this really direct question from an ancient text. You have the Buddha asking his top disciples, Sāriputta, to define this crucial concept they call the stream. And this one question, it just sets the stage for an absolute masterclass in precision. And Sāriputta's answer? It's immediate. It's exact. He says, "Venerable Sir, the stream is simply this noble eightfold path." And the Buddha instantly confirms it, giving it high praise. So right off the bat, we know the destination isn't some big mystery. The stream and the path, they're the exact same thing.
Okay, so that leads us to the real puzzle here, doesn't it? If the path is so clearly laid out, why has the starting point, the entrance, become so hard to find? Well, the source material we're looking at argues that it's all down to a single, really critical mistranslation that's been sending people down the wrong road for centuries. So, first things first, we've got to do a forensic audit on a single Pali word that honestly changes everything. You have to understand this error because it's the key that unlocks the entire protocol. And that word is Anichcha. Okay, get this. The common translation you always hear is impermanence. It's a passive observation. Things change, stuff ends. But the functional meaning, it's something way more active, way more frustrating. It's structural insatiability. It points to a process that's deeply embedded in how the mind works. To make this super clear, think about it this way. Impermanence is like watching a leaf fall from a tree. It's just a natural thing that happens, right? A process of change you can observe. But structural insatiation? That's a hamster wheel. It's a system you are stuck inside, running and running, but never, ever getting anywhere. One's an external fact, the other is an internal prison.
And this all ties back to a foundational Buddhist idea. The mind is the architect of your reality. So here's the crucial point. If the very architecture of your mind is built on a foundation of structural insatiation, this endless, frustrating chase, then literally every experience you build on top of that is going to be flawed from the start. So, now that we've pinpointed this core mistake, we can finally look at the actual protocol for what the source calls a system reset. These are the precise four factors that Sāriputta laid out for entering the stream. Which leads to the million-dollar question, right? If our minds are basically hardwired for this constant, insatiable chase, how in the world do we fix that? Sāriputta doesn't just give us some vague philosophy. He provides a clear, step-by-step engineering manual. And here they are. These are the four factors for stream entry. But don't think of them as just abstract ideals. You should really think of this as a practical, step-by-step protocol for re-engineering your own mind. Let's break each one down.
So step one is something the text calls spiritual friendship. But what does that actually mean? It means you need to find a guide, a Kalyāna-mitta, someone who has already decoded how the mind works. They act as a kind of objective, external mirror, showing you the blind spots in your own perception that you're just too close to see for yourself.
Next up, step two, listening to the source code. This is all about getting the teachings with what's called Nirukkthi, which basically means with etymological precision. It's about learning the correct, functional meanings of these key concepts, just like we did with Anichcha. It's about giving these words back their original power. All right, step three is where you turn inward. It's the systems audit. This is where you take everything you've learned and start applying it to your own mind. You literally start tracing your mental states, your anxiety, your cravings, your frustrations, all the way back to their origin point to see exactly how they were built.
But look, this whole protocol, it's not just some thought experiment. It's not just theory. This final factor is where the audit meets reality. It's a live stress test for the entire system.
This is where the rubber meets the road. The final step is called Dhamma-anu-dhamma Paṭipatti, and it means you take this new understanding and apply it right in the middle of your daily life, at work, in your relationships, sitting in traffic, and you verify for yourself that the mental friction, that constant sense of struggle, actually starts to go away.
So, what happens? What's the result when someone actually pulls this off and masters these four factors? Well, the Buddha himself confirmed the outcome, and it's described as nothing less than a fundamental, permanent shift in how you perceive everything.
Think about the old way of being,
the state you're in before this reset. It's basically like you're chasing a mirage. Your mind keeps projecting this finish line, perfect happiness, total success, ultimate peace, but it keeps moving away the closer you get. You're trapped, watching a magician's illusion and completely believing it's real.
But the new state? This is the amazing shift. It's not about making the illusion disappear. It's about seeing the wires. You start to see the mechanics behind the illusion. You understand how your mind projects that mirage in the first place. And because you see the mechanism, you're just not fooled by it anymore. And there's an official name for this breakthrough. It's called Sotāpatti phala. The source material presents this as the ultimate verification that the system reset has worked. This isn't just a temporary good mood. It's a permanent change to the mind's entire operating system.
So what does all of that technical talk boil down to? It's simple. The hamster wheel stops. That relentless, frustrating chase for something that's always just out of reach, it's over, for good. And that brings us full circle, right back to that core idea. The mind is the architect. So the real question this whole explainer leaves us with is a personal one. It's for you to take with you. Take a hard look at your own experience. What foundation are you building on? An ever-shifting mirage? Or something clear, stable, and real?